Christiania, an autonomous self-governing village right in the heart of the Danish capital. Born as a hippie squat 37 years ago, full of trees, colors and imagination, where peace and love rule. Or at least did rule, until Denmark's new right-wing government decided they wanted all this land back.
Basically, this is state property which has been taken over by somebody else, which in my mind and the mind of the overwhelming majority of parliament, they have no ownership rights at all to do what they want with.
In 1971, squatters took over an abandoned military barracks and part of the ancient ramparts of Old Copenhagen.
Out here they want to make big changes. They want to cut, at least 90% of the trees down here.
Why?
Because they say you can't see the profiles of the ramparts. You can't see the profile on the battlements properly, and that's why they want to make it more visible.
2/3 of Christiania, the whole green area of Christiania, should be brought back to what it looked like when the English were surrounding Copenhagen in 1807. Which means that 1/3 of the people in Christiania and more than 1/3 of our houses should be torn down and moved.
This house is threatened by the government. All the houses we have been seeing on the top of the rampart here is threatened. It's almost like living in a tree, huh? So beautiful.
When the peaceful hippies of the time moved in, the area was an artillery dump of rusting arsenal, weapons factories and stables. It was transformed into an idyllic village where life slows down.
It's very much about the speed of the place. Christiania doesn't move so fast. It's possible to really put time and energy in small things. It's different from the other side of the fence.
Out here, Copenhagen is a typical 21st century consumer-driven capital, bold, fast and wasteful. After the Christianites moved into this abandoned military site, they managed to build their utopia by recycling and reusing material the rest of Copenhagen was throwing out. The government at the time gave them permission and called Christiania a social experiment. Until today, citizens maintain their own sewage and electricity systems, putting around £300 each into a common fund which pays for it all. They reject the concept of private property, build their own houses and decide who moves in.
They want to take that away from us. And that's really hard for us too, because now we have built up this whole system, and it's a thing that makes a community strong, that you do the whole thing yourself.
There have been a kind of collective depression, because we all had this stress situation for many months. Now we can count years. We get letters from the government. I built all this with my own hands. What they're doing is that they try to run our life for us, and that's the most. That's what I object mostly against.
Last year, this wishing stone was set up, a gift from a Danish sculptor.
The government came and they put up a note saying this is not a part of the original ramparts. You should move it within 1 month. Then they came with the police, put them up, and we don't move them, of course not. Now we're just waiting to see what are they going to do.
The police have been visiting more and more regularly, usually on the pretexts of a drugs raid. Christiania tolerates hashish or hash, but not hard drugs.
The new government which came into office in 2001, a major plank, so to speak, was to combat illegal drug sale in Christiania.
The way they have been looking at Christiania is you have this hash market and the rest is cover up. Basically that's how they look at Christiania. They don't see that Christiania has been going on for 37 years and built up a lot of valuable stuff and valuable social structure.
Those who live here feel what they've created is worth fighting for.
If you really look into the government's plans, then it would be a catastrophic thing for the wildlife. We are like a green lung in Copenhagen. There's not many places for animals to go. We have many different kind of birds collected in one place. Also because we say, hey, we don't want cars. You can't drive to the lake and then have a picnic, huh? But you can walk to the lake and have a picnic. And we make the path for you. And you can also choose your own path.
It's much easier to live outside Christiania because everything is regulated. You have people to take care of everything. You can make your own life pretty narrow. Everything is part of a system. In Christiania, you have to deal with everything. You have to build your own house, you have to build your own community, you have to deal with all kinds of social problems, criminal problems, meetings.
For 4 years, the Christianites and representatives from the government have been meeting in this room, trying to negotiate a deal. The government gave Christiania a deadline of the 1st of July to cooperate with its development plan to make the area a normal residential neighborhood. The plan includes selling off a big chunk of Christiania to developers to finance renovating the historical military site.
Big houses like that would take away the special character of Christiania as sort of somewhere between a park and the city. It would be a total city. So that's the end of Christiania.
We also need development. We also need the right to build buildings, but we want the right to do it ourselves. And we also have the capacity.
Everything in Christiania is decided on by consensus.
It's always very complex with Christiania because we have many people and everybody have the right to say what they want to. So we had to agree about an answer.
The young people of Christiania gave a passionate speech rejecting the government plans and saying they dreamed their own children would one day be playing on the ramparts. The chair of the meeting asked if anyone had any objections.
That makes us strong when we have those experiences together. And then I feel so proud of being here. Now I almost get... It's very beautiful.
Ole delivered the response in a letter. Christiania then held a press conference to tell the world what they thought of the government plans. Though the future is uncertain, the Christianites were in the mood for a party. More important than the land and the houses, what they've built here is a community.
If you ask if we're still here in 30 years, yes, for sure we are.
At the end of the day, this land is government property, and they did take it over. But maybe they've created a vision of what life in the cities of the future must be like. Local, green, and based on community.